This is video 8 of Advaita Vedanta, non-dual monism as taught by Sri Ramana Maharshi. I was talking about awareness screen. See, this is an interesting point to note. Compared to the times of Sri Shankaracharya, Sri Bhagavan lived in a different era where technology has been developed, especially the technology of cinema. So Bhagavan has used this example. He says, we are like the cinema screen. Atma is like the cinema screen on which this movie character of the individual happens. The waker, dreamer and deep sleeper, he just happens on the awareness screen. We are not the movie character. I am not Sentivel. You are not Selva. You are not John. You are the awareness screen on which this movie is going on. Here is where our difficulty lies, because the attention has become stuck at the level of I am the body. So all our effort is now to move that reference, sense of I, from the bodily sense of I to the awareness screen, background screen, existence, consciousness, bliss that we are. In fact, Bhagavan says, once you do vicharam, a kind of spuranam, I arises from the same place where the mind subsides. And he says that spuranam is from where the subject and object, they arise and then they subside. That is why he wants us to fix our attention on that spuranam. Finally, he says, if one feels oneself to be the awareness screen on which the subject and the object appear and disappear, then there is no confusion. One can remain watching the appearance and disappearance without any perturbation to the self. This is one of the conclusive statements Bhagavan has given. So, all our effort is to realize that we are the awareness screen, the substratum on which first I thought arises and it says I am Sentivel and the drama goes on. So if we push it back, if you push the I thought back, it will go and merge in the Atma itself. And when we do inquiry, vicharam, or when you observe even breath, or when you chant Om mantra or other mantras, the mind becomes one-pointed. That is the whole mechanism involved. When the mind becomes one-pointed, it subsides. It loses its strength and it merges with the source from where it emerges. And when it goes and merges with the self, the spuranam starts. And after that, what will happen? We don't have to worry, because Bhagavan says, if you just do vicharam, the self will do its job automatically. He has said in Talks book, when we do vicharam, when the mind subsides, he says the self will do its job automatically. So we don't have to worry about it. This is an important point. All we need to do is do our due diligence. Do vicharam, inquiry. Who am I? Where from does the I thought arise? What is it that is appearing as this I thought? These are the ways to inquire. Who am I? Am I this body? What says that I am this body? This I thought. Oh, what is the birthplace of that I thought? You have to seek it. But we cannot seek any particular portion of the body or organ of the body as the birthplace of this I thought. Because he says the source of ego is Atma itself. And Atma has no particular location in space-time. Atma is everywhere, inside and outside. It is limitless. So all we need to do is just seek the source. Seek the source of the I thought. Seek the source of ego. And whatever has to be done, he says the Atma will do it automatically. And in fact, in another place he says, if you seek the self, it will expand as the infinite. This is also said in Talks book. Now, in one of the poems, Sri Bhagavan has defined what is that Atma. What is the nature of Atma? It is, the song is in Tamil. He says, to realize the reality, what is of help is our own consciousness, feeling. Because he has often said, realization or Atma experience is closer to feeling than thought. So he says, what is of help in realizing the reality is feeling, consciousness. Since there is no other way to know the Atma, the pure consciousness, we can say we are that feeling itself. See, in different languages, different words are used to denote, say, for example, feeling. In Tamil, we use the word unarvu. Unarvu is that feeling, not any happy feeling, unhappy feeling. The feeling that I am. If you close your eyes, if you switch off the light in your room, and if you sit in dark, and if I ask you, hello sir, are you there? Hello madam, are you there? You will say, yes. That feeling of isness, that is what is called by unarvu or feeling. The feeling that I am. Not I am Sentivel, I am John, I am Lalita. No, I am. Just being, just existence, just bliss. That is what we are. So when thoughts subside, what is left is, when that spuranam arises, it is just a pulsation kind. It happens here, a little bit here, but it happens. But Bhagavan says when it becomes automatic, it is realization. I think last 1 year it has been on and off with me, this spuranam. Right now also when I am speaking, I can sense it, a kind of pulsation. I don't know, but with the Bhagavan's grace only, I think things will move forward. I don't know when, how. So let us do our due diligence. And another important point to note is that poetically, Atman has been described as light, luminous, self-luminous, self-effulgent. But we should not commit the mistake of thinking of the Atma as the physical light, the tube light that we have here. No. If Atma is that kind of light, then if I am realized, if I walk into a dark room, my eyes should be beaming lights, right? No, that is not how it works. Atma is the revealer of either light or darkness. Again I am repeating. Atma is neutral. It is called nirguna, no property of its own. Only when it shines on and illumines the mind, experience starts. So consciousness in association with an instrument, only experience is born. When the instrument, the mind, body, senses, they are separated, this is nirgunam. It cannot act on its own. The Atma cannot act on its own without an instrument. So when we realize ourselves, when we separate ourselves from the antakarana, what is called inner instrument, the mind, the apparatus, the body, the mind, the senses, we remain as infinite existence, infinite consciousness, infinite bliss. This separation process is vicharam, and it takes some time, because I said in this video I'll talk about the standpoint quotes. See, Sri Bhagavan has spoken from two different standpoints. One from that of a sadhaka, you and I, and he has spoken from the standpoint of a jnani. Say for example, there is a mountain. This is the mountain. He has spoken from the peak as well as from the standpoint of the person who is climbing this consciousness ladder. So he would say, why do you need to do sadhana? You are already that. He'll say that. Okay. We should not get carried away. Like how Ashtavakra Muni says to Emperor Janaka, Janaka, you are getting into samadhi, right? That is the bondage, he'll say. Because he is at the peak. But Bhagavan would say, samadhi must be gained. Within brackets, through practice, through sadhana, through inquiry, we have to gain samadhi. And he says samadhi must be practiced until it becomes natural, sagaja. Then there is nothing more to do. So, we should not get carried away by the standpoint quotes. Everything is a matter of standpoint. Till we reach the peak, we had better behave like a normal sadhaka. That is the stand I have taken. If I assume I am already realized, because the Upanishad says Tattvamasi, when it doesn't have comma, quotation, colon. It says Tattvamasi, you are that, you are God already, always. So should I stop doing my sadhana, my preliminary practices, my Om chanting, my breath observation, my inquiry, self-inquiry? Should I stop now? No, you should not. Because now look at the other side of the quote. From the sadhaka's practitioner's point of view, what has Bhagavan said? He says, you look at a king sitting in great pomp and pageantry, like he is sitting in that colorful condition. You look at him, will you become a king yourself tomorrow? You would ask. And you see a higher official. Will you become a higher official the very next day? Bhagavan would ask. Should you not work towards it? And Bhagavan has mentioned this in many places, that effort is necessary up to the state of realization. We cannot stop. He has used such words as assiduous effort, incessant effort, unremitting effort. And he has said genuine efforts will never fail. Success begets success. And he has said there is no need for anxiety. So, which means we can understand it that it is a cause and effect process. Because in his case, when he was commenting about his own realization, he said, oh, it's a great relief that I did not get to study all the scriptures like you guys, how you guys are struggling. He said, my previous birth vasana straight away took me to vichara and it is all done. So he said, I am so lucky. That's what he said. So it means it is a process. That is how I understand. If you want a baby, we have to wait for 9 months. No, I love my baby. I want it to come out within 9 months. No, then you will know what will happen. So that is not how it works. So patience and practice, let it happen. If not in this birth, if we are destined, within quotes, if we are destined that only in the next birth we will get a release, or only after a few births we will get release, what are we going to do? We cannot struggle against that which is all powerful. In fact, Advaita Vedanta says that is what you are. But until we find out who we are, we have to be patient. We have to do practice, sadhana. This is my understanding.